Welcome to this is episode 23 of the Soul's Kitchen podcast, where I have conversations with people who are living their soul's purpose or desire. So today I welcome Chantal. Thank you for being here, Chantal. Chantal is a photographer, a singer, a mother, a homeschooling mother, and I feel like the word mother encompasses so much, but we'll talk about that. And you do essence work, which is where you help women guide women to find their inner essence. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
talk about, yeah. So I want to hear all about
Mhm.
that because I love all of those things, or all of those descriptions, I should say. So welcome anyway, Chantal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so fun. So, as you know, we don't edit here on the show. I just want to have real conversation. So, basically, this is all about you. This is like what I want to know what makes you tick and all about again the essence of you and what you do. So, you can start
Yeah.
anywhere you like.
Okay, let's start. Let's start when the yeah. Okay, let's start back in 2013.
Okay.
2013 would have been the time I was a new mom, and we had just moved to Fredericton from Manitoba, and I was
Okay.
at the tail end of a maternity leave. And back then, I was working as an underwriter for an insurance company. And we had just moved, and I had a new baby, and I was just still in the cloud nine of
Mm,
being a new mom and what that meant. And I had just a job lined up to go right straight back into the work and do what everyone does. And um,
right.
it was, I think it was October. I could probably get the exact date, because I journal everything.
Okay.
But it
Okay.
was October, and I had just put my baby down for a nap, and I was going to go on the porch with my laptop to look for daycare because I had a job coming up and I did not have daycare lined up because we had just moved. Um, and I sat there and I was typing, like childcare area, and I just exploded in like tears. And I feel like
Mm,
a lot of women, I don't think any woman just goes into that process like, yay. So
right.
I was like, this is normal. This is normal. But I didn't feel right to me. I was like,
Mm,
I don't want to do this at all. Like, no fiber in my body wants to go forward with this process. I can't go back. Like, to me, that job was like, that woman didn't exist. It's not like I was following any sort of
right.
soul current in me that was leading me to an insurance office every day doing math. And I was like, I hate this. Like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to, I'm not her. And like that sentence, like that phrase echoed in me, like, what does
Mhm.
that mean though? But
Mhm.
for now, that means I'm not going there, and actually being at home every day and watching my baby grow has brought me like the most joy I've ever felt in my life. So why would I do anything else in this moment? So then I shut the laptop and I went to the money. I went to the finances. Like,
Right.
what
Can I
happens?
do this? Right.
What happens? Are we
Oh,
going to be okay if I just like don't work? And the answer to that was no, we're not fine.
mm,
So um, I did the math and I was like, that's not going to be all right. We just bought this big house. I am supposed to go back to work and resume, the lifestyle that we had with
right.
2 salaries. And that wasn't looking good. And so my husband got home and I was like, so I have this idea, and do you trust me? And I'm like, we're gonna have to make some
Yeah.
serious lifestyle adjustments. We're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of luxury, a lot of material things, a lot of ways that we used to live. But I'm staying home. I want to be home. I want to be with my motherhood,
Mm,
completely
mm,
submerged in it. And so that night I went to bed, and then I woke up the next morning and I thought, well, I have a camera. Like, what if what if I just kind of pursued that? Like people do that.
Mm-hmm.
They make that a
Mm-hmm.
profession. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the thing that I can do and still be home. So that fall is when I found two friends that were pregnant, and I was like, hey, can I photograph you? Like I want to like start a website, and I want to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, of course. So I did those two sessions, and then the babies came, and then we did baby sessions, and then I was working like just breastfeeding the baby morning, night, doing that, my portfolio and doing my website, and trying to find a way to make it me. Like if
Mm-hmm.
this, the whole purpose of me starting a photography business is so that I can stay home.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to leave home, the place that I love most, it has to be to go do something that lights me up too. Like it can't
Well, it
be,
lights you up and is
um,
also going to help you stay home.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, what am I doing? So I was like, I'm in the deep end of mothering, and that's what I'm going to shoot. So then it was
Mm.
breastfeeding sessions. It was newborns. I was going to like new mothers would find me because that's what I am. So like that
Mm-hmm.
alignment was right from the get go
Oh.
because it was my heart. So then I was, in the homes of these young mothers, and we would do newborn shoots or breastfeeding shoots. And then I'd be like, has anyone like showed you how to nurse laying down? Like, and they would be like, no.
Mm.
So I would help them, like you need to, this is going to change your life if you lay down and like can nap with your
Right.
baby. And then I would take photos of that. And
Oh,
um,
that's so beautiful.
so yeah, that's kind of how the photography got started.
Well,
And
thank you for starting there because I know I asked you a really open-ended question, and as I was coming out, I thought, wow, that's really there's no
yeah.
direction there. But you started in that pivotal moment, which is sort of what I'm kind of after, I guess, is that moment where you go, how do I not do the 9 to 5 and do what really
Mm-hmm.
fills my soul, and make it
Yeah.
work? And that's a beautiful story. Thank you for starting there. So the
Yeah.
photography part. So I'm thinking like I'm hearing you and I'm thinking there's so much other things from there that I can imagine that you like when I read that you do essence work, that just captured me for helping
Mm.
others. So that must have led into to that.
I I love that you're asking that question because
Okay.
the essence part, those two things, like um, I mean, it's a form of awakening. It's a form of
Yes.
like a different like a moment of like, I don't think I had it right. Like, I don't think I was doing this the way that I want to do this. So that moment for me was like that laptop looking for, it's like,
Right.
no, it's joy. Like, that's not joy. This is joy.
Mm,
That's not heart. This is heart. That's not expansive. This is expansive. So that was a moment for me with like, stay home, quit the job. And then
mm,
like I'm thinking probably like a month or so. Like I could like look at the dates,
the
but it was
timelines,
it
yeah.
was around the same fall where I had decided to stay home. So now it was like for the first time in my whole life. So I was 30 at that point.
Hmm.
For the first time in my life, it's like I had spent my whole life just looking down or just looking just ahead of my feet,
Mm,
you know, in all my choices, all my decisions. And it's almost like I wasn't, you're not really walking, you're just moving, but
you're
it doesn't
doing.
feel like you're in charge. You're just, yeah, you're not being anything. You're just doing it.
Hmm.
You're looking and there, oh, she's doing it, so I'm going to do that. But when I decided to quit the job and take those risks and do something that felt in my heart like it was warm, it's
Hmm.
like I had just like lifted my eyes up and I could find, like, for the first time, could see an open field.
Mm,
And
hmm.
it's like, like, where do I
And a whole
go?
bunch
What if
opened
the,
up, like you, yeah.
like, yeah, what if the whole thing's mine? What if I get to go over here? And what if I get to like frolic and dance over here? And what if this part right here is for this, and that? But it felt like potential and this whole thing. So I was kind of bathing in that high.
Mm,
And so one day, my toddler's at that point, he was like 15 months old.
hmm.
And he's playing with his little cars. And I was just having that one of those moments that moms have about like, oh my God, like my baby's a genius. You know, it was just, ah, look at this
Yeah.
thing that I made with my body. So I was just like in that awe and just like, you know,
Mm.
watching him play. And I was like, oh my goodness, like he's just so strong and so bold. And um, like he knows who he is. And I was like, frick, like we are born this way. Like we
Oh,
come with that.
yes.
We
Yes.
don't get it. We like that is who we
That
are.
is the essence
Is
essence
is
of who
the
we are.
essence.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was
Mhm.
like really connected to his essence. And I was, you
Mhm.
know, first time mother. I had no idea um that babies are born the way they are. Like the human is born, the soul is there, everything is intact when they come, when we are
Mhm.
born. So I was
Mhm.
having one of those moments like, he's always been who he is and he's always going to be who he is. And then I had like just a washing of like responsibility in that.
Mm.
And I said, you know, a lot of him reminds me of me, you
Mhm.
know, like that recognition of yes, I'm his mother, there's DNA, but there's also like something in him that ignites in me. And what if something in me ignites in him? And this exchange. And then I had like, why am I not walking like that in the world though? Like
Mm.
I'm recognizing like his how
Mhm.
bold he is, how bright he is.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm here, like this personality and this like this spirit that just shines. And I just had like, but I'm like when I go out in the world, I'm just
Mm.
not that.
That
But why do I
conditioning.
recognize?
Mm.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, the essence that I recognize in him, I've lost like a lot of it. And I thought, well, as a mother who's choosing to be like, you know, having a big part of my life home with him, I have to keep his flame alive. Like that's what I want most in the world, is for him to maintain and just keep growing that as he gets older and goes out into the world. But there's no
Mhm.
way that I can do that if I lost my own and
Mhm.
I can't find it.
Right.
So that was a moment of like, what is my essence? Where did it
Mhm.
go? What happened? And how do I get it back? And
Wow.
so again, like it's like those two things happened so close together in time. And then my art, the photography, came in as a means for me to stay home. But it
Mhm.
also, like, I also had women come to me and in my photo sessions, and all I wanted was for them to see themselves. So I would place them in the center. Like even
Mm.
if it was a family shoot, all I could see was the woman. And like I wanted
Mhm.
her to see how beautiful she was and how much of an impact she had in her family unit and with her children. And all of this was also myself. Like I was seeing
Like,
me.
yes. Well, just as you're saying that, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're
Mm-hmm.
right. Like she's in the center because all of that family is there because of her, because of you, me, the woman. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting. You're right. It's all come because of the woman, but somehow we're made to feel less than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've forgotten what we've created.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the words aren't coming for what I'm trying to say, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah. And
so what a moment. So you started to place the women in the center of the photographs.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
Like it just like I it was like just I want her to see the magic of her touch, like on her
Mm,
child's head. Like it's like
mhm,
everything's I could just slow it down. I'm like, if because that's what I see. I
mhm.
want her to see what I see.
Right.
And what I see is women's magic, like just the way she looks, her gaze, her importance, and her like her
Mhm.
light
Well, it's
in the
almost like
family.
a a beacon too in the family. Like we
Hmm.
all know the mom, everyone, the children are attracted to the mom, the mom, the mom. It's
Yeah.
kind of like we're a beacon
Mm.
of we're attached really
Yeah. The
until
gravity.
they
We're like the
the
gravity in
gravity.
the
Yeah.
sun.
Mhm, yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
amazing. So you started So the
Yeah.
essence thing kind of came out of that
Yeah. And then but it was a
realization.
whole, like, that realization, that moment. And then I got pregnant again, and I
Mhm.
started exploring self-portraits. And
Oh,
so um, that was a couple, I don't think, a lot of it's not really conscious. Like, it's just, it's what kind of comes through. And I was
right.
um, looking to portray pregnant women in a different way than what was, what you see
Mhm.
with the little cutesy bump and the
Right.
hands and the little blocks that say the baby's name on top. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
Didn't
want
wanna do
that.
that.
Like, I
Yeah.
actually, like, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was very sensual. I love
Mm.
my body. Last thing I wanted to do
Mhm.
was put clothes on and try to hide and
Right.
make it cute. I didn't feel cute. I felt really hot. Like, that's the truth.
That's amazing.
I
No,
just, I
I
loved
love
it.
that. I also loved being pregnant. Like, you meet a lot of women.
Yeah.
I hated the pregnancy, but I loved the child, of course. But I also
Mhm.
just that whole pregnancy was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Growing.
I feel
It
like
was
the second time around for me was different because I didn't have, like, so many, like, worries. Like, a lot of what
right.
I worried about the first time was like, well, I did
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
I'm
And now
here,
you're
and I'm doing it again.
right.
So I enjoyed my pregnancy a lot more. I
Mm.
was more
Right.
intuitive. I was more in
I
tune with the baby. Like, so
mhm.
I was really, like, tapped into a different frequency with her.
Yes.
So I was doing self portraits, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to put photos of myself out there, and then the women that want this will
Will
come, and
yeah.
that's what
Amazing.
happened. Yeah.
Um So, do you want to talk about your singing? Because I've heard your voice. It's
Hmm.
beautiful.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
yeah. Is that something that you just do like for yourself or your children? I used to
Um,
sing to my children a lot.
yeah, I
Yeah.
sing a lot to them, and they're like, "Can you, can you?" Like, we're trying to we're trying to do something over here. Um,
Yeah.
oh, my voice has been like, um, I always sang. Like, I was in a choir when I was like 6
Okay.
years old in school, and I always had a, love to sing, but I never wanted to sing in front of people too much. Like, it was
Mhm.
not, choir is different because you're in a group. But once
Yeah.
I stopped choir, and then you're like middle school age, and then it gets, you're shy, um and I grew up in a really musical family. Like, my dad is a singer and a songwriter, and my sister is an amazing singer, musician, and, like, a lot of music, a lot of singers,
Mhm.
a lot of people to, like, compare and be like, "Oh, am I good?" So having that, like, inner critic voice was very strong for
Mhm.
me. And then you're just a teenager, and then you don't, you know,
Right.
that's where the gap for me was, like, the essence left my body
Right. Well, I was
around
just gonna
those.
say, going back to watching your son, like you say, like you see that, you can see it
Hmm.
when you see your children, and I don't know how old your kids are, but I saw it in my children as it kind of left, and then they got more immersed in society, and then that kind of
Yeah,
took over. And as much as,
yeah,
I tried or whatever, but it's because that's where they spend the bulk of their time after
hmm,
they kind of leave you, go to school, do all the things. So yeah, so it left us you left you too, left me. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about there. Yeah.
yeah. And, like, taking that, like, I'm just gonna, like, do a little, like, my kids are homeschooled, and it's one of the
Oh,
main,
okay.
so
One
it's
of
like
the
my
reasons?
son,
Yeah.
he'll be 13. Yeah, my son will be 13, and my daughter will be 10, like, next week. And
Okay.
in moments of doubt about, um, their education, like, journey,
Mhm.
anytime that I had doubts, I would look at them and I would be like, they're intact and they're brilliant,
Yes,
and that matters a lot to me.
it does.
And so because, like, I think we don't, no one's a perfect parent. We're messing up all the time. But
Mhm.
I think through every journey that wants to heal a part of themselves, you're going to provide what you would have needed most,
Mhm.
you know? And
Right.
so for me, like, having, like, just the light completely washed out of me, and having that realization at 30 of, like, oh my God, I'm not me. I don't know. Like, this is not.
Mhm.
Um, just like, if I can do anything right, it's going to be, they never have to feel this.
Right.
So, and my voice was a big part of this process of like rekindling and reigniting who my connection with the essence and the current of what makes me me and what I feel like. Dance was huge, but the voice was one thing. It was like a heartbreak, my voice. When I was like kind of pulling on those threads of what made me me, and I thought, what, I'm not singing. Like, why can't I sing? Why can't I share this part of me? I had so many blocks around even touching the full potential of my voice.
Okay.
So all of this was like, you know, in my 30s. So like following this, these initial moments. And I think it was like maybe 2017. I was singing in the bathroom, just cleaning. And up until that point, I had a good singing voice. But I thought there was a cap to it. I thought, oh, I can't sing, these songs are too high. I don't have that range and whatever. And I was singing a song one day, and it went above that ceiling that I had accepted. And I felt I did it. Like I went through with a really good, clean note. And I was like, oh wait, so I can change this. Like I can grow a voice at 34 or whatever, how old I was. So then I became like completely obsessed with like, where can I take my voice? Not just in how it sounds, but how I'm feeling. I brought my voice completely down into my body. So it was like, okay, we're going to go for sound, we're going to go for notes, and we're going to go for tones and try to get technically better. But in the process, I was like, oh, this is igniting my body. So I was having this also big journey with that process of like, oh, this the voice actually lives in the body. And it's something that you lift and you project out. And
right. And it carries vibration too.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. Like our voices, just like animals and birds, like our unique tone and the voice of an embodied voice heals us. It's actually made for us.
That's amazing.
So that was a whole journey of finding my voice, finding the true voice inside of me. And then the next evolution of that was like, okay, so now you have to sing in front of people because what are you doing?
You have to share
like,
that.
you don't hide, you have to share that. And so a few years, well, when I turned 40, I bought a drum. So I learned to play the frame drum. And like the drum and the beat and the rhythm is, you know, ancient rhythms of women. Like women were the original drummers.
That's right.
And so it connected me to the earth, and it connected me to something just so much bigger than my fears and the stories of like, oh, no one wants to hear me. And, you know, we're just going to stay over here and keep it for me. And my voice is mine. And yes, that's true. But it was fiery. It was hot. The drum was like very brave. And not long after I got my drum, I was asked to perform at a speakeasy sort of event. And I said, yeah. And I was terrified.
Awesome.
My friend organizes, and she's the curator. She messaged me. So do you, like, I saw you on Instagram with your drum. Like, do you perform? And I was like, I will. And so this was last winter that I did that. And with the drum and nobody else, and it's just me and a drum that I barely know. Like it's very new to me to play, and I was singing, you know, very loud, very no hiding kind of song. And that was really big. Yeah. In reclaiming. And
so what happened to you after you took that huge leap of courage or faith or whatever we want to call it? How did you feel after that?
It felt, I mean, the worst was just saying yes.
Right. Okay. So once you said yes.
Because it's like, that's the jump. That's like I said, and I do what I say I'm going to do. And I really am going to do it. and I want to. Like the desire in me was stronger than the fear, because the fear, like
Okay.
saying no and be like, no, like I'm not doing this to like go backwards. Like all of
Mm-hmm.
what I did and everything that I like, I don't go that way anymore. I don't go back. And so this felt like a moving forward, and this felt like that's the field
Mm.
in front of you. Like, do it. You want
I love that analogy when you say that field opened up. It's sort of like
to.
on the other side of fear is everything that you want,
It's
could ever
everything.
want.
And it's,
And it's that
yeah,
fear, but so many people are stopped. They stop there. So what would you
yeah.
say to people about
Mm,
they want to jump over that line, but you know,
yeah.
what
It's
would you
like,
say?
mm,
Because everything
it's
you're
just
talking about
the
is on the other
desire.
side of that desire.
Because
Yes.
the fear is attached to your desire. Like the
Mm,
fear and listening to the fear is just keeping you smaller than what you really want.
mm-hmm.
And I think if people were really honest with themselves and calling
Mm-hmm.
out the lies, do it in the mirror or with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of like, where's the lie? What's the lie that you're telling yourself
Mm-hmm.
through this fear, that you're actually just keeping yourself smaller than what you should be? Because fears aren't random. And
Right.
and it's usually it's just keeping you smaller, keeping your eyes lower.
I started
So,
thinking of fear actually as kind of excitement because
mm,
it's sort of the same feeling. You get that kind of tingly feeling inside, but if you think so it's almost changing your perception of it. So if I look at it, I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing here that's exciting? Because that fear
yeah,
comes in and it's like, okay, what does this mean? Um,
yeah.
and it,
And fear and
it,
curiosity, like
mm-hmm,
full blown fear and curious, like a childlike curiosity, can't really
right.
exist at the same time. Like those two sensations are like here or here. So you can always choose curious, but you have to almost do
It's
it like
true.
at this every second. Like you're gonna have the body, the reactions. You're gonna get sweaty
Mm-hmm.
and your heart rate. Like the moment before, like when I was doing the performance, we had 3 nights, so I did it over three.
Okay.
We had 3 audiences.
Oh,
That
right on. Okay.
drumming performance.
Mm-hmm.
So and I was the first act. I was opening like in the dark. I
Mm-hmm.
started singing in the dark. So I was like that first thing that people heard
Mm.
and saw when the lights came on. And like those first few moments, like I wanted to throw up, but I didn't. Like, but then it's like you're here, and I think, well, for me personally, I work really well when I'm backed into a corner. Like it's on.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
You said yes,
It's
and here we are.
happening. I said
Yeah.
yes, and I trust myself. Like I
Mm.
trust in my voice. I trust in my ability. I trust that even if I forget words, I'll figure it out.
And it is
Like
what it is. I'm just listening to you
it
talking. I'm
is
thinking, you're
what it
right.
is.
It is what it is. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if anything, like I got it. I trust myself. I got it. It's like being your
Oh,
own mom. It's
right.
like a child looking up to the mother, being like, "Are we fine?" And the mom's like, "Yeah, yeah. That's what we have to do that for ourselves.
Right. For
That's the
ourselves.
way."
Good, good,
So it's
good,
like
very good a point. Yeah.
I got it. And like I think the worst, the most fear I had over like, or the most discomfort that I felt during that process, that first time that I performed, was the sound check in front of all the other like amazing artists. And I
Oh,
was like,
right.
oh, it's that's where like
Yeah.
the inner critic and like just the imposter and oh, these people, they're professionals, like I am not, and just these, but like just burning through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like, no, it's I'm here. I'm here
Oh,
too.
I love it.
Um, yeah, and
And I
I
think,
had done that with my photography before. Like
right.
it's you sort of have a bank of everything, all the times that you had to
Mm-hmm.
do that, and they count and they stay in your body and they stay with you and they're like receipts.
Mm.
It's like, no, I have this, and this, and here I am, and I've done all those things. And sometimes like in that moment, just like remember who you are, remember what you did, remember the wisdom that you have, and it's your blood, sweat, and tears, and it's like it's worth
Mm-hmm.
something.
Oh, definitely. And I think too, the more you do, and even if you're dancing with fear, maybe we'll call it that, like
Mm,
even just doing little things that make you afraid to help
yeah,
you practice. That's sort of what I do is practice. Oh, just do this or try this. What's the worst that could happen? It helps you build that foundation
yeah,
for bigger things because you know that
hmm,
you're going to be okay. So the more
yeah,
you practice that, the more you know that, and then you just keep going.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really amazing. And also what you're modeling and showing your children, the best way that we can show them or how to keep their essence is by keeping ours.
yeah. Because it's like you're walking across a river and there's like stones, and
Mm.
if your child's in front of you and they're trying to like find a way to the
Mhm.
stones, like you can't be behind and be like, yeah, you just take your left foot and you put it here. Like, what if you were in front and you're like, give me your hand?
Right.
Like, it's like I have to be in front. Like, I can't always be
Yeah,
ahead of them, but I know when I need to step it
to
up.
be in front. Yeah. And then
To be in, and
uh
metaphorically, it's like I'll sense
yes,
it with my son.
absolutely.
It's like as soon as I feel like I got my shit together with mothering, and like no, something happens overnight. I'll be, they have a problem or they have an issue,
Mhm.
and it's always, it's like mirroring back something in my life, or it's like, oh, I have to be more brave here. I have to be more bold here. I have to, like, because I just want to be on the other side of it. Even if I'm not always
Yeah.
like giving my hand, I can also just be like, no, just we're going this way, or this
Yeah.
is where I went, and that's also an option for you. And the
And also
proof of like,
letting them sort of make mistakes and letting them knowing when to you don't have to put the hand out, but so just nudge,
yeah,
just go this way, see what happens.
hmm,
If it goes wrong, we'll deal with it
yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
or
kind
you
of
you'll
like
you'll know, yeah,
you'll know exactly because we have that instinct. That's right. When you're going to let
yeah,
them do it. Because if we don't let them do it, they're never going to they're never going to figure that out.
yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
letting them fail, and letting them be scared and letting them take risks is way easier if you were doing it yourself,
Well, you're doing
you
it
know?
yourself, but also and I don't even like that word fail, like, it's sort of like every failure that I've ever had, I've learned something from, so
Hmm.
sometimes it's been the best thing, but you
Yeah,
don't know that until and it builds up a resilient muscle, that muscle that you
yeah,
have that you can just keep doing things because, I mean, everybody's fails, it's like you say, no one's perfect.
yeah.
So the more that
No,
we can
and
just yeah,
it's, yeah, mistakes are way, like, I tell them that all the time. I'm like, mistakes is
yeah.
how you learn.
What is a
Like,
mistake?
mistakes are
Yeah,
how you figure out who you are and what you're made of and how
right?
bad you want something.
And is it really I just don't like I don't even like the words associated with it. Is it really a
I know.
mistake? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Or a
A
failure? It's just sort of
redirection,
like yeah,
a
redirection,
redirection.
exactly, or a
Like,
pivot
yeah,
or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Hmm.
I think you probably already answered them, but, I was gonna ask you what belief that you had, over time has changed, but I think the evolution of your life and that pivot around 30
Yeah.
has probably the answer, but is there anything else that you would say to that?
I think the belief that I was limited to who I thought I was.
Right.
Like
Mm.
I think in all of like the last 13 years,
Mhm.
um, it's like we do become who we feel we are,
Mm,
and
mhm.
we're not who we think we are. Like,
Right.
it's
Yes.
it's we get to evolve, we get to become,
Mhm.
we get to sit
Mm.
there and dream, and like and imagine, like, what we imagine ourselves doing and being is not random. They're not like someone else's ideas, they're not someone else's life.
Right.
We get to, like, that feeling of my voice of what I thought, oh, I'm limited to here, I can't sing that.
Mm.
That's not true. Like, I
Right.
can, it's like I believe that for 30 years, that,
And
oh, I'm just shy, oh, I have like crippling
mhm.
anxiety, and
Mm.
I don't shine very bright, and I this and that. Like, I believe them, and
Mhm.
it's not anyone's fault. It's not, no one sat me down and be like, oh, you're this. It's just,
Right.
it's like just crust that accumulates
Yes.
with living and life, and and society and whatever stories that happen and traumas. But then it's like, when we have that, what if there's more for me? What if this is my
Mm,
life? What if I'm the center of my life? And what
mm,
if these little sparks and sensations and feelings that I have about like different, what if those aren't random, and what if there's something I can do about it?
wow. Yeah, I truly believe that when there's a little spark of something that we have, it's not for nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's there
Yeah,
because we're actually capable of doing or whatever that
yeah,
is, creating whatever that is. So thank
yeah.
you for that
It's
answer.
something
I
to
have,
just, yeah.
yeah. Um, what's something that you've done that would make your younger self proud? And again, I think this encompasses everything we've been talking about, but
Mm. A
what
lot
would,
of it. Like, I think about this
yeah,
a lot, I just like do
yeah.
anything. Um, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
singing, even just saying yes, to like a
Oh, yeah.
collaboration, or um, saying yes when someone asks, like, just that being able to say yes to something that I want is
Mm-hmm.
like, the little girl said no so much, or
Mm,
no, or didn't answer, or like, just, like, um I've held down a
right.
lot, and so anytime that I'm not doing that, anytime that I say yes to something that would make me feel really happy, she's excited
Yes,
about it, like,
that's
she's like,
gorgeous.
oh, we get to do that. So if
Oh,
she could be there and see, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I'm gonna be fine,
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
makes you feel most alive these days?
Most alive. Everything. It's like the big things and the little things.
Right. And
I
I
think
feel
coming
like
out
you
of the, like,
go ahead. Sorry.
especially coming out of winter, like, I hibernate, like,
Yeah.
I winter really hard,
Okay.
and the kids, we're homeschool, we stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to leave my house if I don't want to. I love being at home. And so the little, on the, like, the micro, like, just,
Mm.
like the ping of my wood stove makes me feel alive,
Oh,
every day, like in the
yeah.
morning. And the animals and the children, like, just
Your
doing their
life.
things, just the life, just the little, like, the simple things.
Mm.
I sit there and I'm like, this makes me, this is alive for me. Um, and then on the bigger, it's just the art that I get to make, and
Mm.
the work that I get to, um, just morph, because I can do
Mm-hmm.
whatever I want. Um, the service that the way that I guide women, the way that I want to do my shoots, the way
Right.
that, um, when I sing, or anything that I want to put, like, out there in the world and create and do, I get to do that.
Get to do it.
Um,
And that's amazing. So yeah, really
yeah.
feels like you are embodying everything that you are, the essence of you. That's amazing.
Mm. And it's
Is
not
there
over.
it's not no, it's always evolving. Do you
It's always changing. Yeah.
do you have any performances or anything with the singing coming up? And I want to mention how people could get a hold of you if they want
Mm.
your photography.
Yeah. The photography, I do have, openings, and the winter is always like that time where not much goes on. I did have
Mm,
performances, um, in the fall and in the winter. And so far, no performances
okay.
that date, nothing that where you
Yeah.
can come and see me. But
Okay.
I
Not
do
yet
sound
anyway.
healing,
Oh, you
not
do
yet,
sound
but I
healing.
do.
That's what,
Yeah, I
yes,
do
I had
sound
that.
healing with the crystal bowls. That I'll probably have some events
Okay.
in the
And we
coming
can
months. I haven't,
find
like, yeah.
we can find you on Facebook and Instagram, or is it
Instagram.
just
I'm on
Instagram,
Facebook, but more
not as
Instagram,
much?
and I do have a website. Yeah,
And you
and
have a
everything
website.
that yeah.
What just mention your website, but I will link it in the on this.
Website is Chantal, CHANTALR Mercier.com. Yes.
MERCIER.com. Is that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ChantalRmercier.com. Okay. Awesome. And one last question for you that I ask everybody who comes on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast. Um, it's called the Soul's Kitchen because I have a food background. So my question is, and it
Mm,
doesn't have to be food related, but what would you say your ingredient is for life? So a one word kind of, and it can be a food item if that's what you're feeling.
yeah, ingredient for life. Mm. Sensuality.
Oh, love
Yeah,
it. Sexuality.
Can
Okay.
I elaborate?
Oh, please. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sensuality, not just in the sexual context, but
Mm-hmm.
sensuality as your senses.
Mm,
I mean, if it's the portal to your essence, it's the portal to your desire, it's the portal to
mm,
what makes you you, and it's the portal to your embodiment. And so without sensuality and the connection and the nuance and that relationship with the nuance of everything that you can sense, um, that's where all the goodness is. That's where all the joy is, and that's where um, the
mm.
intuition and your energy. And so
Everything.
that's the focus for me.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for elaborating on that. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you for this conversation, Chantal. I really, really
Thank you
enjoyed
for having
talking to
me.
you. Thank you for being so open and well, you are I think you embody everything that you say. I can feel it. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we end?
I think
We're
that's a lot. Yeah, it feels
well,
complete.
it does. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I loved talking to you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.